Okay, welcome everybody. I'm so excited that we're here for the call and you all are here joining us. And I'm just going to make sure if you guys can your mute for me so we can get started. But today is Tuesday, February 24th, and today's call is all about sealing the deal. And I didn't want to say the word closing because that's very, very salesy. By the way, I'm Christine Olson, and I'm hosting the call for tonight. I didn't want to say sealing the deal because I didn't want to say closing because that sounds very salesy, whereas sealing the deal, I kind of just figured it was a more fancy way of saying kind of the same thing. But the reason why I don't want it to sound salesy is because really your heart has to be in the right place and you have to really want to help people. But there are techniques and things that you can do and things that you can say to get someone into the right place in the right space to really understand what it is you're offering, why you're offering it, and what we do as a team, and why should they join our team? Why should they join you? And so that's kind of really what I wanted to talk about today. Okay, so the steps to sealing the deal is kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. So we're going to talk about sealing the deal, not just we're going to talk about sealing the deal for challenge groups, and also to find great coaches from your challenge groups. Okay, and how to find your ideal people that you want to work with in your challenge groups, and then to join your team. So one thing, when I was a new coach, I didn't really realize this, but my coach would say to me, hit Success Club 5, hit Success Club 5, hit Success Club 10, and I didn't really understand why. Why am I doing that? So one thing I wanted to make sure that you guys understand that not all Success Club points are the same. That took me a while to realize because I would hit Success Club 10 every single month, or Success Club 5 for sure, every single month. And I was so proud of myself, but I wasn't really finding those people that were going to join my team. I was just trying to hit points. And I enjoyed, I enjoyed talking about the programs and the products because I believed in them so much. Just like, 2 seconds of my story, I did the Ultimate Reset Detox, found out that I had a gluten issue. Pretty much helped me with so many areas of my life. Extreme fatigue helped me lose the weight, all types of stuff. And from there, I started to do fitness programs. So I really believed in the programs right off the bat. So I had no problem talking about them very confidently. But I was just like selling programs. I wasn't thinking about building my team. So all of these are hand in hand. 1, to find great challengers. 2, to make great challengers into your next great coaches, okay? So when I started to realize that, everything started to change. So when you follow this recipe for success, you find really great people for your challenge groups, you give them an awesome experience, and you find people from those challenge groups to join your team, then you're doing exactly what you need to be doing to grow your business. Now, there's tons of other ways people join as coaches. It doesn't have to be that way, but that is the recipe for success. You will find lots of people out of your challenge groups that are eventually going to sign up as coaches, and they're going to understand everything about it, okay? So how do you get quality people into your challenge groups? How do you get great coaches on your team? So the power of asking questions and acting as a consultant, your posture, your mindset, is, all of those things are really important to sealing the deal. If you're asking them, questions and asking how you can help them, you'll be leaving that impression for them. Again, your heart has to be in the right place. And that's, you have to really, really believe in helping that person. And then it comes naturally. But when you think about it, instead of just regurgitating information of that person, take a step back. Asking the best questions is really what's gonna get you there. So if you just sell, then people are gonna see it a mile away. They're gonna be like, ugh. And I'll give you an example. A girl that's been talking to me about joining my team decided to go into a skincare line. and starts texting the heck out of me all day and night about how so many nutrition coaches are, so many people from my nutrition school are, going into this beauty care stuff, and she's just been really throwing it down my throat. And to be honest, I'm sure it's a great line and I would have been interested in it, but because she was selling stuff to me and not even caring if I was interested, I'm really turned off. So that's an example. So you don't want to sell, you want to be a consultant and you want to ask the right questions, okay? So for challenge groups, any questions so far? You guys good? Thumbs up? Okay. So for challenge groups, this can be conversations that you hold over the phone, Facebook, or in person. For me, I like to try to work the majority of my business over on Facebook. So what I like to do is I like to post a lot of things on Facebook about my upcoming challenge groups or things like that. And then when people like it or comment, I message them right away. Another thing I do is I create an event and I just add a bunch of people to it. Again, I try to add in people that I've been talking to on a regular basis, starting new conversations with, and I try to formally invite them in a message, and then I add them to the event. I've had a lot of success with that and a lot of people interested. So what do you do once there's interest, right? I personally message every single person and I just start chit-chatting, okay? Everybody always jokes with me that I could talk to anyone, any place, anytime about the dirt on the bottom of their shoe for a very long time. I'm very good at small talk. And so I'm not going to go into that too much, but if you guys do have trouble on that, I can easily, show you guys how I'm able to just talk about literally nothing and start conversations. But what I'd like to do is just check out their Facebook page, check out what's going on with them, like a few pictures, and then start up a conversation. But when it gets into the meat of it, right, when it starts really getting into different things about the challenge group, I'll say, so I know you're interested. Thanks for liking my image about this, or thanks for joining the event about this. What are your current health and fitness goals? So I'm about to tell you my 4 questions that I always ask every single person that joins my challenge group. This is the exact process I do, and I'm about to give it to you right now, okay? Question 1, what are your current health and fitness goals? Now, people just start to tell you all types of stuff. I mean, sometimes it's just to lose weight, and sometimes it's like a huge paragraph, okay? So this right here is the information you use when you're starting to close at the end, okay? So question 2, what types of workouts do you like to do? Zumba, dance, lifting, boot campish style, Pilates, yoga, martial arts, kickboxing? I like to list different types of stuff like that to paint a picture of we're not just P90X, okay? Then they tell me stuff. Question 3, how much time are you willing to dedicate every day to working out? 10 minutes a day, 25, 30, 45, an hour and a half? Then they answer that question. And normally I would say that, because I do this a lot, I have a lot of these conversations, I would say normally people know that we have 30-minute programs, so they're like 30 minutes or 45 or an hour and a half. I've never gotten anyone say 10 minutes, but I put 10 minutes just in case because we have 10-minute trainer, right? So why not toss that in there? Okay, the 4th question, okay? Would you consider yourself to be a beginner, intermediate, or an extreme workout person? So then I say, once you answer these questions for me, I can send you an email with the programs that I recommend and the prices for you. What's your email address? So let's talk about it, because there's different ways, and I handle it different every day. It just depends on the person and if I'm at my computer or not. So what I do is, say I make an event and 20 people say, yes, I'm joining your event and I'm coming. Well, maybe I'm messaging all these people and they're not at their computer and I'm not having those conversations right away. So I just have text that I copy from one conversation to the next, and it has those 4 questions in it. It says, I'm so excited you're interested in joining us for whatever name of my next challenge group is. You know, it's an online accountability group. I offer recipes, this, that, accountability support, this, that. And here are the, if you can just help answer these 4 questions, I can recommend a program that will work for you. And then bam, 4 questions. I ask for their email address, and then I just follow up the next day or the next day, and I have done my part, and I'm just waiting on their response, okay? What happens when they give you their email address, okay? So I'm gonna actually show you guys my outline that I send someone in an email. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And I'm telling you right now, this works very well. Okay, so this is something that I drafted up, and I do have like a little bit of a marketing background, so I think that that sort of just helped me. Like, I like colors and things spaced out and stuff. So I just copied this out of an email. So it's not like perfectly spaced the way it would have looked in the email. But so it says, hello, you know, Sarah or whatever. Here's some wonderful programs I think you might like based on what you told me. See the pricing and the programs listed below. Another technique, I do have a little bit of sales background too. Another technique of sales, or I don't want to say sales because it's not really, you know, it's not really sales. But another technique that you can use is to, before someone has a lot of questions about, sorry, hold on, we need to mute someone. Okay. Before somebody has questions about things that you know they're going to ask questions about, it's better to nip it in the butt right away, okay? So I know the questions that people are going to ask because I've just done it a bunch of times, right? So as you get into it better, you'll know. But again, I kind of know a lot of those questions, so why not share with you guys? And that's why I wanted to do a call on this. Okay. Is someone unmuted? There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so I like to nip stuff in the butt right away, right? So what's the first thing that people like to complain about? Or not complain about, but what's the first thing that people have an objection about? Shakeology, because they don't understand the value of it, okay? So what I do from the beginning is, in a very non-throw it down your throat type of way, is I bring up Shakeology and the benefits of it. I say, hello, you know, here's some different programs, and I only offer the pricing in the challenge packs, as you're gonna see. And I list them in different colors. But I say, you know, you get Shakeology half off. I'm going to explain to you why Shakeology is so important, and I do that at the bottom. But then, you know, after listening to what they told me, if they said 30 minutes a day or 40 minutes a day, or they need to lose weight, I just put the, you know, the fitness program, I put a little bit about it and a video, and I put the price. And I do the same thing, and I just explain it. Each program in a different color, and I just explain it with a video. They click on the video, they can watch it themselves, and then at the bottom, right after that, I say, I was telling you some information on Shakeology, and I wanted to make sure that I explained more. Again, this is something that I wrote, and you know, just the reason why I wrote it this way is because most people, you know, they think of Shakeology as a protein shake, maybe. And what I like to say is it's not just a protein shake, although it does have protein in it. And it's not just a weight loss shake, although if you do have weight to lose, it will help you do that. It's a natural shake, and it's a dense dose of nutrition. It's made of over 70 superfoods, meaning and people don't always know what superfoods is, so I'm going to explain that, meaning the best types of fruits and veggies for us humans, grown all over the world in their natural habitat. Again, most protein shakes are made in a factory. So, you know, this is important. There are no preservatives or unnatural weird crap in it, which is why it gets a thumbs up from me and gives you the best things that you can put in your body for an affordable price. You could buy all these superfoods separately from a health food store, but you'd spend $700 a month doing it that way. So then I give them my favorite video on Shakeology, which is Darren O'Lean. Then I tell them what to do next. I say, once you decide on a program, you can join my accountability group. I offer free recipes, accountability support, blah, 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 blah. And normally at the end, on this one I didn't have it, I say, you know, next steps. I say, tell me what Shakeology flavor you want, and I'll send your order right to your email, okay? So that's it. So that, that right there is, I literally do that every day, all day. Okay. So I have conversations, I get their email address, and I send them that. And then I follow up and I follow up and I follow up. Okay. And that's why tracking, what Meredith talked about last time, is really important, which is something I've not been very good at. That's why we are all accountability partners with each other, right? Because I'm really great at having conversations, starting conversations, and closing the person, but I'm not always very good at remembering to follow back up with that person until recently, until this year. And that's when things all started to change for me, because people forget, right? So this is why these steps are really, really important. Okay. So that's how you find quality people for your challenge groups. Why is it quality? Because you're getting to know that person. They're not just buying a program, they're not just buying 21 Day Fix because that's what they saw you promote. You are learning about their needs. If they have knee and back problems, you're not telling them to do Insanity. You're getting to know them and their needs and their desires, and they are feeling like you care right off the bat. And when they feel like you care, they might be your next new awesome coach on your team. And that's why. Okay? So that's how you find quality people for your challenge groups. Those questions are always what I ask, and that template is always what I send. So, so then what do? How do you then find really great people to join your team? Okay, so, there's tons of webinars on how to host a great challenge group. I used to run a lot of crappy ones before I started to run really good ones. Okay, so that's just a learning process, and you can follow Meredith's lead or my lead and see what we do as coaches to have good challenge groups. Sometimes you have crappy ones. It still happens. You just, maybe it's just you have a dud group. But when you host a really great challenge group and you are consistent with your posting and you're consistent with checking in with them and making sure they're okay, I guarantee you there's always going to be people in there that are your potential coaches. So what I like to do is I like to host a coach webinar at least once a month, and I host more. I host more than once a month when I'm really pushing to have more coaches on my team. But I like to host at least one a month, and then I invite a lot of people. Again, I can make an event and invite a bunch of people. I always send personal messages and then invite those people to the group, to that event. So those are always all options, okay? But then I follow up with that person, and when they're on the call, I do a whole webinar. Meredith does them too. Stacy does them as well, if Stacy's coaches are on here as well. And but what you want to do at the end of the call, when you follow up, you say, hey, can we jump on the phone sometime this week? Or I think it's way better to be on the phone over doing everything over on Facebook. That's me personally. I do better closing on the phone because people can hear my personality and they know that they can trust me and talk to me. When I'm on Facebook, people walk away from Facebook all the time. I walk away from Facebook in the middle of conversations all the time. So that's just something that that I like to do. But here's the questions that you can ask. Step one is you host a webinar. You invite those awesome people from your challenge groups that just, and sometimes people that didn't even participate in your challenge group might want to be coaches because they're people that wish they did your challenge group. So you can pump them up and say, hey, so I know you didn't really do much with the challenge group, but did you know that there's a coaching opportunity? And being a coach is the ultimate accountability. You join a team and you have accountability from teammates. And then you get to, not just, be in a group, but you get to help run a group, and it's the ultimate accountability because you can't tell people to work out if you're not going to work out, or eat clean if you're not going to eat clean. So I always like to say that. But here's the questions that I ask them after they watch the webinar. And if they don't watch the webinar live, that's okay. I just try to gauge interest. Like last night I hosted one and 11 people said they were coming, but only 4 people came, So it's like, okay. By the way, I put the wrong date on it and switched it 2 hours before. So that was an idiot move, but blonde moment. So that happens sometimes too. But afterwards, it's up to me to follow up with all those people that said that they wanted to come and they were interested. So I have my recording and I sent it to them. So these are the questions I always ask people about the coaching opportunity, okay? Because this is an opportunity and you need to treat it like an opportunity. It's not, when I was a new coach, I would take anyone that wanted to be a coach, okay? I don't do that anymore. And you learn that over from experience. You want people on your team that are quality people that you want to spend your time with and that you want to work with every day, that provide an awesome culture, that are go-getters, that are positive. And I'm not saying that we don't have bad days, but we lean on each other for those troubles and those bad days. But yeah. So here's the questions that I ask at the end of a presentation. After I send it to them, or I try to hop on the phone call with them, or they've listened live, okay? Question 1, what about the coaching opportunity and what I do interests you? Okay, you're gonna get all types of questions here, okay? Because everybody has a different reason for wanting to be a coach. I have had people respond to that with, I wanna be healthier, I want the accountability, I wanna quit my job, whatever, right? So you're gonna get all types of stuff, okay? So again, you use those answers, you write them down, or you remember them, because that's what you go back to when you're going to close. You're gonna go back to their reasons for wanting to be a part of the team to close, okay? As coaches, what we do only comes from our ability to help others grow. So again, what we do as coaches, to be honest, your heart has to be in the right place. You have to want to help people. So what we do we only grow as coaches with the more people that we're able to help. And the more people that we help them get healthier and fit and more financially free. The more we're able to help people, the more we're compensated, okay? And so this can be, one thing that you can also say is, the harder that you work to help people, the more you'll grow, okay? So the next question I say is, based on what you saw in the webinar, if you're interested in getting started on a part-time basis, because most people have other jobs, or you could say full-time basis, what would you need to make per month to make it worth your time? So maybe they'll say $2,000 a month, right? Like, I just need to get $2,000 a month, and then I would be perfectly happy, signing up. I would love to be a coach if I could just make $2,000 a month. So you write that down. The next question, about how many hours per week would you be able to dedicate to this business to make that $2,000 a week? So everyone's going to answer different here, but let's say that they say 8 hours a week. And you say, okay, that's great. That's a good amount of time to dedicate every week to make $2,000. The next question is, about how many hours per week would you be able to dedicate to this business? Oh, sorry, I already did that one. So the next one is, about how many months would you be willing to work those 8 hours a week in order to develop your monthly income? So maybe they'll say 3 months or 6 months or something like that. So some people say unrealistic goals, which you really need to also understand. So what you're doing, remember at the beginning of this call, I said we're a consultant. We act like a consultant. We're not selling anything. We're just finding out if this is something that the person wants. If they don't, we don't want to push it on them or make them have anything that they want. We're acting as a consultant to guide them and educate them in what's available. So maybe they'll say, yeah, I only want to work 2 hours a week and I want to make $10,000 a week, $10,000 a month. And you're like, okay, sorry, bud, like that's really not happening. So you have to help consult them into what is an actual realistic goal. Okay. So then once you do that, so depending on if they have realistic goals or not, and again, this is, if you don't know what realistic goals are, just to give you a ballpark, what I can help people accomplish is to make, $500 a week or $1,000 a week, but not right off the bat. You have to grow. So $250 a week is, you know, what you could expect at the beginning. But again, you don't even want to say that to people, because what's going to end up happening is if that person says, I need to get out and this family situation has happened and I'm going to work 40 hours a week on this business, that person could be making $1,000 a week, you know? So you don't want to limit that person with what their capabilities are. You want to remind them that you get out what you put in. If you have 70 conversations with 70 new people, you'll get tons of new people in your challenge groups and you'll get tons of new coaches out of that. So that's always what you tell people. So the last thing I say at the end of that, after those questions, is if I could show you how to get that $2,000 a monthly with 8 hours a week focused over the next 3 months, is there anything else you'd like to know to get started? Do you have any other concerns or questions? And then you just wait. Most of the time, people are like, okay, I know Shakeology is awesome. I know the programs work. I love the team and support. You know, they're like, okay, I don't know. You know, I don't really get many more questions. And that's why I think that when you set them up in these stages, you know, it's not like it's a cold person. Like, this is somebody you've worked with and worked on and groomed to this point where now they're like, why would I not want to join you? This is great. I mean, if that's really true and possible, then it's great. They have to put the work in, obviously, to do that. Okay. So most times, you know, they're ready to get started and they're excited about it, and, you know, show excitement for them. So if you act as a consultant, not as a salesperson, then this will work, because again, your heart is in the right place. You want this person to succeed, and you want what they want. You can't want things for them. Okay, so treat this as an opportunity, because that's exactly what it is. This coaching opportunity is an opportunity, and it's not for everybody. It's something that, you know, you have to work for, and when you do, the possibilities are endless, and that's exactly how you need to treat it. You want people to see this as an opportunity, and you know, you really want to get people that want to work the business. Again, when I was a new coach, I cared a lot about rank and not about finding quality people. So I didn't really understand how it worked. And so that's why we're sitting here making sure to educate you guys right off the bat on how to find these people, so that you guys can get up and running way faster than we did. So again, just to recap, I love to answer questions, the questions that they're going to ask me, like about Shakeology and the fitness programs and all that. I love to hit it right in the beginning. You know, that's what I do with that email. Before they're going to bring up all these questions about Shakeology and I'm going to be on the phone with them for an hour about Shakeology, I'm going to say, no, here you go. This is why I drink it. All the things that they're going to ask me about, protein, unnatural stuff, you know, is there vegan, all that stuff. I hit it in the beginning, okay? And that's how I drafted up that thing. And then I say, watch this video. So I put it on them to educate themselves. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I wanted to make this simple and show you guys kind of how I do things, and really just let you guys know that it comes from practice. But there are techniques that you can learn, and you guys can write your own stuff too. Just think about those questions that you get asked a lot as a new coach, and also write them down so that you can nip them in the butt right in the beginning. You know, the next time when you're gonna send your emails or have your conversations, nip them in the butt early, before they even ask them, and they'll feel confident in what you guys are doing. So that's really the recipe for success. You know, find quality people for your challenge groups, run great challenge groups, invite people to a coaching webinar, and then, you know, ask these questions, find your leaders, and then it's all about mentoring them. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to stop the recording, but I'll still be on the call for a little bit after and answer any questions you guys have. But thank you so much for being on the call.